welcome. Today I'm going to be making for you all some Jamaican patties, and this is going to be my version, so please, anyone out there, please do not take offense. This is just the way that I make it and what I've come up with. So for this recipe I have here all of my ingredients. I'm going to call it out and I'm going to list it down below with the measurements for you all. So I have my flour, some very cold ice water, extra flour for dusting, salt, crisco or cooking or lard, some curry powder and some turmeric powder. To my flour I'm going to add in my curry powder, and the curry powder is optional if you don't want to put it, the turmeric and the salt. Whisk to combine these ingredients. Now I'm going to add in my crisco, and if you don't have crisco you can use butter. I'm just going to mix this into my flour until it looks like fine breadcrumbs. Once you've mixed in your lard or cooking, you're going to add enough water to create a medium to firm dough. You don't want your dough to be too soft. So I've finished kneading my dough, and as you can see it was a rough knead. You do not need to let the gluten form, so just cover this and set it aside for about 15 minutes. After your dough has rested, you're going to flour your surface. Put your dough onto your surface. Add some additional flour, and now you're going to roll out this into a large rectangle. So here I have some crisco or cooking or lard, and here I have some unsalted butter. So I'm going to use these two things to put it into my dough, and you will get the measurements for this down below. My cooking and my butter, it's both very cold. So I'm just going to spread my cooking into the dough. Now I'm going to put in the butter. Okay, once you've done that, you're going to fold this into three. Press down. And now you're going to flour this liberally because you don't want it to stick to your surface. And we're going to roll this out. So practically we're doing it like if we're making puff pastry. Now I'm doing it this way because when you bite into an original Jamaican patty, you see those layers just like you would see layers when you bite into puff pastry. So I'm just going to roll this out. Try and keep that rectangular shape. I'm going to put in one more layer of butter. And we're going to fold this into three again. And if it's sticking, you want to make sure and flour your dough. Now give this another roll. Okay, once you've rolled it out, you're going to fold it into three. Yes, my butter is coming out a little bit, but that's okay. Just dust it with some flour. So I'm going to cut mine into a half because it's going to be a little too big for me to roll out when it's time to roll it out. Can you all see there? You can see the layers already. So I'm just going to set this onto a plate. I'm going to cover it and put it in my refrigerator, and then we're going to move on to making our filling. So now we're going to make the filling for our patties, and here I have one chicken breast that I cubed up. I have 4 scallions finely chopped, small onion finely chopped, And I'm using some store-bought jerk seasoning for this. If you want to make yours, you can do that. And I'm using 2 teaspoons of the spicy one, and I'm using 2 tablespoons of the mild jerk seasoning, together with 1 tablespoon of curry powder, and you'll need a little bit of water. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my cubed chicken breast into my food processor, and I'm going to pulse this until it's very fine. Just take it out and place it back into the same bowl. And if you wanted to use mincemeat for this, you can. Put up a pot to heat up and add a little bit of oil. When your oil is hot, add in your onions. And you don't want the oil to be screaming hot, because you don't want to burn your onions. And you want to let this saute a little in here. I'm also going to add in my scallions. Add a little salt, just a little pinch, and a little pinch of pepper, because remember the jerk seasoning will have salt and you don't want this to be salty. So you're just going to cook this until the onion and the scallions start to soften. Okay, now I'm going to add in my curry powder and let that toast. Add a little bit of water. When that starts to thicken up, add in your chicken. Add in your jerk seasoning. Mix everything in. You're just going to allow this to cook for about 10 minutes or until your meat is cooked and it's nice and thick and your sauce is thick. So my chicken is where I want it to be, but as you can see, there's still a lot of liquid in the pot, and I want that liquid to remain in there, but I don't want it to be so wet that when we put it into our patty to fill it, it gets it soggy. So what I'm going to do is, in this little cup, I mixed a little bit of water with a little bit of cornstarch, and I'm just going to drop a little bit at a time until my sauce starts to thicken up. You want to put it a little bit at a time, because if it gets too thick, then it's going to be a mess. You just want that right consistency. So that was about 1 tablespoon of that cornstarch mixture, and I think that's perfect. That's just enough for me. So I'm going to taste this for salt, and I'm going to set it aside. You see those layers? Now we're going to roll this out into a big rectangle. I'm going to make sure and flour it properly, because you don't want it to stick. In the meantime, I'm going to put up my oven to preheat at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, once you've rolled out your dough, you're going to cut it into squares. So I'm getting 6. Now your squares are not going to be perfect, because the ends are very hard to get straight. So all you do now is take your filling, place it onto one half, bring the other half of the dough over, and using a fork you're going to seal those edges. and you're going to repeat the process until you've filled out all of your dough. And all you do with this is place it onto a cookie sheet lined with parchment paper, or if you have a silicone baking mat. Okay, so one trick I wanted to show you when dealing with uneven edges is that you can just take your pizza wheel and you can just cut it to get a straight edge, and you can do that for both sides or whichever sides that's not straight. So once you finish with your patties, you're going to put them to your oven to bake at 350 degrees for about 30 minutes or until they're puffed and golden brown. So my pies just came out of the oven. I just want to check them, and they're very hot. They're nicely browned. So I just want to quickly let you all hear that crust or that crunchy top that the patty has, and I'm going to cut into one. I hope you all can see. Can you all tell how flaky this patty is? And there you have it, the filling on the inside. Can you all see the layers of pastry that was created by rolling and folding? So here you have it, my version of Jamaican chicken patties. I hope you guys enjoyed today's recipe. Make it and let me know down below if you like it. This is in no way a true Jamaican recipe. It is just my version. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you all another day with another one of my recipes. Enjoy!